How many lovers have you made today? Chapter 8, Healing Wounds. Trixie is out and about in Canterlot as she browses the various shops she passes by. The only thing on her mind at the moment is what she should make for dinner tonight. A few fruit stands litter the streets and she entertains the thought of making a pie. It's been some time since she's made anything with apples in it, but decides to pass on the idea. Not too long ago, she nearly burned down her home during a cooking fiasco. She needs to look into improving her current home/stage to make it fireproof. However, an upgrade of that caliber requires time and bits, two things she's in short supply of. She affords herself a sigh as melancholy thoughts come to her. Ever since Ponyville, she's been forced to rely on her savings merely to get by. The new carriage put a significant dent into years' worth of hard work, but was a necessary investment should she return to performing magic acts. Though, she has yet to rediscover the nerve to put herself out there. Performing is without a doubt her talent, and something she greatly enjoys. But since ponies found out her wild stories are made up, many have shunned her. She misses the smiles her tricks used to bring to the masses. Fillies and colts would laugh, and cheer alongside their parents. It wasn't uncommon for a pony to visit her backstage and thank her for lifting their spirits on a particularly dark day. Nowadays, well, the show she put on last had barely any ponies, and the few that were there only booed and heckled her until she decided to shut the show down. It's been several months since her most recent performance, and with the things that happened in Ponyville being on the top of everyone's mind, there's a chance they've since moved on from her misdeeds. A newfound spark ignites inside of her. This could be the comeback she's been waiting for. Only a moment passes before her body sags. That's easier said than done. With very few bits left in her savings, she can't afford the permit required to run a show here in Canterlot. It'll take a lot for her to gather that much money, and there's a chance she may need to get a side job soon just to survive.
Hello, Trixie.
Freezing in place, Trixie instantly recognizes that voice. In an almost painfully slow turn, she faces Twilight. But to her surprise, she's not alone. Standing beside her is Anon. He gives Trixie a light wave. Hey. Trixie needs a moment to try to understand what has brought about this situation. She forces her attention past Twilight to Anon.
What's going on?
She asks, casting a brief glance down at Twilight. Short version, Twilight is making amends to various ponies. She wants me to help with this endeavor. In return, she's helping me with a few things. Anon shrugs. Remarkably, here we are. Placing his foot on Twilight's flank, Anon pushes her forward. Your turn. Twilight lets out a snort of frustration before returning her attention to Trixie.
Yeah, what Anon said.
Hanging her head low, Twilight tries to think of what to say.
I've been thinking about a lot of things, Trixie. Like when we first met, and how poorly we treated you in Ponyville.
Twilight takes a long breath in.
It probably means nothing now, but I'm sorry for what I did back then. I know it's of little consolation, but if there's anything I can do to show my regrets, I'm all ears.
Trixie is left speechless. This is almost too good to be true.
Is she serious?
Trixie asks Anon. I believe so. Anon scratches his chin. Who knows, though? If you take her for a liar, that's well within your right. Giving this a moment of thought, Trixie finds that perhaps Twilight may be able to solve one of her more pressing issues. It's because of the events of Ponyville that Trixie lost her stage and was forced out of work due to unfavorable rumors spreading. If Twilight can provide her with anything, then perhaps it could be a means of easing her financial trouble.
Twilight, after what happened in Ponyville, Trixie became a laughingstock. Trixie couldn't even host shows to get by, and have since been living off her rapidly shrinking savings.
Twilight's ears pinned back at hearing this.
That's not counting my home, which was destroyed by that Ursa Major. Minor.
Twilight corrects.
Minor, which he might add, was only provoked due to those two colts that went gallivanting into the forest.
Trixie takes a few breaths to calm herself, the memory still fresh.
Trixie was without a home for weeks before she could find a town to provide her with one, and it wasn't cheap. So the truth is, Twilight, Trixie needs bits. She can't even afford to pay the permits required to put on another show in this town, or any town for that matter. If you truly wish to help Trixie, then all she needs is enough bits to purchase the proper permits to run a show.
Anon wasn't aware that Trixie was practically at the end of her rope. Trix, if you need money, I have plenty to... Trixie holds up a hoof to stop Anon.
No, I don't want bits from you.
Anon chews the inside of his cheek before huffing. Very well. Twilight is now back in the middle as she looks between Anon and Trixie.
Well, I don't have any bits.
Twilight admits.
I've
Her head hangs low once again.
I've never had a job.
Trixie scoffs, unsurprised.
Oh, what a privileged life you live. Trixie has never been fortunate enough to have such a thing hoofed to her, but it's a dream she longs for someday.
Repulsed, Trixie turns her back on her.
We have nothing more to discuss, Twilight. Wait!
Trixie stops in her tracks.
I can't get a permit. I'll ask Celestia and she'll...
Hearing Twilight say that so casually makes something inside of Trixie snap. Twilight's never had to work for anything. She doesn't understand what it's like to starve, or live from paycheck to paycheck, worrying about if things will ever get better.
Don't you get it?
Trixie turns back to face Twilight, an unseen level of hate in her eyes.
It means nothing if you don't fix this. That's how Trixie knows you're not sorry. Because whenever you're faced with something that can't be solved with a wave of your horn, you wish to pawn off your trouble onto some pony else.
Twilight takes a few steps back, eyes wide.
I'm sorry. Leave me alone.
Trixie turns her attention to Anon.
I don't know why you're doing this, but please, stay safe.
Anon subtly nods his head up to a building. I've got someone watching my back. Trixie looks over to see a pony of some kind watching from afar. Don't forget your batch at the store. I'm sure they have it ready for you.
Thank you. I'll be sure to pay you back when I can.
Anon waves it off. No worries. But seriously, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. That causes Trixie to smile as she brushes past Twilight, stands on her hind hooves, and hugs him.
Always so nice. See you later.
Anon returns the hug before Trixie lands back on her hooves and begins to leave. Later. He gives her a small wave. Trixie makes it a few hooves away before a voice calls out to her.
I'll find a way.
Trixie looks back to see Twilight looking at her with determination.
You haven't seen the last of me.
Trixie rolls her eyes at this.
Trixie will be waiting, Twilight.
With nothing more needing to be said, Trixie continues her way down the street. Once she's far enough away, she spares a glance back at Anon and Twilight. She can't hear them over the clamor of the ponies out and about in the city, but Anon is saying something to Twilight, to which she nods a few times as they turn to the opposite direction Trixie's going and walk off. Trixie finds herself overcome with questions on what's going on between them. The only possible lead she may have comes from his partners that run a store. She heads that way in hopes of finding answers. Trixie pushes open the door to Anon's shop. It's been some time since she's come here. After the party, there were a lot of things going on around Canterlots with the upcoming festival. She sighs happily, losing herself in the idea of being able to perform for such a vast venue. Now that would be something that would undoubtedly set her life back on track, but alas, it's nothing more than a pipe dream. She needs those permits. Her thoughts on that subject cloud as the scent of candy fills her senses. It's funny how coming here has a calming effect on her. A certain warmth she can't place lingers in the air. That's most likely because of Anon. Even when he's not here, there's a certain je ne sais quoi ever present. Coming to her senses, she trots up to the counter where Lyra sits and waits. Busy with her own work, she perks up when she notices Trixie is walking up.
Oh, a long time no see, Trixie.
Her perkiness wavers.
Anon isn't here. I know. I spoke of him briefly outside.
Trixie states matter-of-factly.
He was here?
Lyra asks, hopefully.
No, just down the street. He wished to talk to Trixie about something.
Trixie picks up on the strange vibe Lyra is giving off.
Is there a problem?
Lyra blinks.
No, he's just been at the castle for a while.
Trixie's a master of deception, It's in her job description, so it's easy for her to see that Lyra's holding something back. However, it's none of her business. Though it does make her wonder if they know why he's with Twilight. For now, she'll focus on why she's here.
Anon reminded Trixie you might have her order.
Lyra nods a few times.
Yes, you can head into the back and talk to Bonbon. She'll have it ready. Thank you.
Trixie walks around the counter and into the back kitchen. Upon entering, she finds all the ponies Anon trained hard at work, a few of them affording her a quick glance before returning to their work.
Trixie?
Trixie looks over to find Bonbon sitting at a desk, looking over some papers in Hoof.
Hello. Trixie has come to check if her order is ready.
It clicks for Bonbon as she sets the various papers in her hooves down.
Yes, they should be in the back. Please, follow me.
Bonbon gets out of her chair and leads Trixie towards the back, but Trixie trots up so they're walking side by side.
It's been a while. We've been selling the ones you didn't retrieve, but we always made sure to have a batch ready in case you came by.
Trixie blushes at that.
Sorry to trouble you. Trixie has been busy these past few weeks.
Bonbon chuckles out of tired understanding.
Haven't we all?
She continues to the cabinet where she's been keeping the order.
We received a direct request to attend the upcoming event. We've been working tirelessly for the past couple of days, but the work's rewarding.
She pulls out the small sack and hoofs it over to Trixie.
Still, we find time to make sure Anon's friends are taken care of.
It's always nice to have friends and friends of friends. It's a lot to keep track of, though. Anywho, let's get on to our friendly donators. Top donators are 630, BadassWaffle, Onlyonething, Ceru, Orion, IronSky, and Jessie Smith. Matchback 109, JockeTF, Toxic Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Skies, Austin, Rolan, Stu Hex, Sir Brother Mordred, Omicron, Live, Ruben Type 9852, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Rysel, Shadow Moon, Luigi 88, Chance Request, Big Smoke 369, Bobcat, GJ, Murder Princess, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.